This is the Wintrust Business Lunch on WGN. Zach Larson joins us now, founding partner and wealth advisor at IntentGen Financial Partners. IntentGen.com is the website. Zach, you're on WGN. Thanks for saying hi. How are you?
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me. It's great to be here with you.
IntentGen. So you talk about preach retiring intentionally. What does that mean? What's that all about?
Well, it means a couple things, and we pair it with the second word that's part of our name, which is generosity. And that might mean being generous to yourself to do things that you've always wanted to do, to your family, to organizations or charities that you care about. But retiring intentionally comes from the fact that most of us really only get to do this retirement transition once. I guess there's a few athletes that make multiple attempts at it, but many of us will get to do it once, and those 5 years before and after that transition can be very paralyzing for people, and we want to help give them some confidence. So there's some cool ways that we try to do that.
Why are they paralyzing? What are you talking about there?
Well, think about the years leading up to it when you're trying to say, will there ever be enough? And most people find themselves trying to save and squirrel away everything, and sometimes we see that they almost stop living. They're worried so much about saving because they don't have confidence that they're on track. And although we want to plan for a long retirement, we don't always get that. So we want to help people have confidence to live, give, enjoy their life as they plan and get ready for the transition. And then the 5 years after can be paralyzing because think about this emotional adjustment. Most people have been conditioned over 20, 30, 40, even 50 years to work and save their income. And now they have to switch to say, I'm going to distribute this money and actually maybe see my net worth go lower when I've always wanted to have it go higher.
Well, sure, but I think you're really onto something there, though, because I understand that idea of get as much as you can. The faucet's on, now the faucet's off, and now every day I go buy groceries and gas, I'm going to have a little less. You know, maybe your assets are appreciating, but no new income from your old job is coming in, and that's terrifying to me as a working person now. I don't ever want to turn the faucet off, but I do want to retire someday, Zach.
Yeah, so you just nailed the first part of how we give people confidence in that intentional retirement, and that's income. We're trying to build a plan that says, how can we have recurring income sources that are greater than or equal to your routine expenses? Hopefully, as you're working, that paycheck is the recurring income, and it covers those routine expenses. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but we're trying to find sources that are not stock market dependent to deliver that income. Could be interest, dividends, Social Security, annuities, pension, real estate income, business income. But whatever they are, how can we get them set up to give people confidence to keep spending those early years of retirement?
Right. What an interesting concept, the confidence to spend money in retirement. Do you run into that? A lot of people have retired, and in fact, they're going to be okay, but they won't spend $4 on a cup of coffee because they're terrified, right?
You nailed it. And it's the little things, and it's also the big things. They say, well, I've always wanted to fill in the blank, take my family on a trip. I want to have that lake house. I want to buy a boat, whatever it is. And they don't have the confidence and the long-term probability, the way to look at, will there be enough?
I got to tell you, so here's just a fast little story. I was on stage at a show last Saturday with a guy who portrays Thomas Jefferson, and he and I talked to an audience of 1,000 people who each paid, I think, $39 to see the show. I wanted my parents to come see the show, so I got them 2 tickets at $39 a ticket for the show. My dad afterwards said, who are those other people? And I said, well, they're WGN listeners. He says, well, did they all pay to go to the show? And I said, yeah, Dad, people pay to go to shows. My dad would not have paid to go to that show unless I gave him a free ticket because $39 was too much. Not only does my dad have $39, I'm his son. And he just couldn't do it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So there's lots of things that we try to unpack with people around why do they hold on to that stuff. And that leads into really a fun part of planning too, which is helping create experiences for people. And that's the second part of intentional retirement is to say, what do you want those experiences to be? Maybe it's a show, maybe it's travel, the other things that I mentioned.
Yeah.
And how do we build that into a plan so you can do it? And once people begin to experience the fact that they can do those things and have confidence that there will be enough, it opens up the third layer that we try to unpack, and that's around purpose. And that's just saying, look, if you've been blessed with resources, what's ultimately the purpose? Is it money you're going to spend now or later? Is it money you're going to give to family and kids and grandkids now or later? Or are there places that are important to you? And there's some really awesome experiences and impact that we've helped people create through that.
I know you talk about year-end charitable giving and tax efficiency planning, and those are conversations you and I will have another day. But retiring intentionally is a concept I'm glad we brought up today with Zach Larson, founding partner and wealth advisor at Intent Gen Financial. Nice to talk to you today, Zach.
I appreciate it. Thank you.